So I wanted to do as quick a video as I can on the idea of prompt crafting. So my own personal AI journey, it's been nothing if not real, very organic, very experimental, fueled by a lot of curiosity, filled with a lot of failures, but I would say more successes, mostly because of the fact that what I'm attempting to do is not necessarily build something as much as I am attempting to learn how to build things. And in that sense, I've had many successes as far as learning. So the concept of PromptCraft has emerged along the way, and it's reflected for me what is a learning milestone, I would say. So I didn't get the term from a tutorial or anyone else directly, and I have no doubts that somewhere out there it probably already exists, and because I've never invented a unique thing, it turns out. But for me, it's unique and new, and PromptCraft represents to me the art of crafting AI workflows and systems or applications in a way that are much more predictable, reliable, and reusable, and even scalable if you need to. It's kind of a philosophy, I think, but it's composed of actual principles that you can apply, and then you can see at work if you pay attention. So what is a chimera? A chimera is a merger of two different things, two disparate things that form one really cool functioning thing. And in my case, I'm using the term because of the way that I feel we are fusing together static systems like we always used to build, whether it's code or otherwise, and AI, which is more squishy, more movable, more like a cat you're trying to herd. So I have adopted the term chimera as part of prompt crafting because of this unique blending of the two. So who am I? I thought I'd take a moment to introduce myself. I'm an R&D professional, been doing development since before the internet was a thing. So quite a while, about 6 years ago, morphed into managing those kind of folks directly. And I've got lots and lots of hobbies. Here's just one of them that AI chose for me, growing wine grapes here in Missouri. So PromptCraft, what I'm going to cover here is the principles, and I'm going to cover, I'm not going to go through all of this today in this video, just principles, and we're going to look at one of the projects I have done real world that I feel illustrates a lot of these principles. So the problem with ad hoc workflows is, and I say ad hoc workflow when I'm talking about an AI interaction that you make up on the fly that's not repeatable, it's not predictable. You couldn't hand it to someone else and say, hey, do this, because it was just done ad hoc-y. So the problem with them is just that. You can't repeat them. They're brittle. They can't be reused. And, you know, a lot of times we do cool stuff and we want to be able to reuse it and share it with others, right? So introducing PromptCraft, and like I said, it's a philosophy, it's a mindset, a way of approaching a build, a system, whatever, that includes AI to some degree, whether it's a little bit or it's mostly AI even. So here's the Chimera spectrum that I've come up with. At the far left, you see, you know, it's really rough. It's more like that ad hoc situation where you're just talking directly to AI. And then you get into some coding. There's a little bit of AI injected. At the very far right, it's a full-on agentic system. AI is doing everything, even communicating amongst itself or between the agents. Where I've gone so far is not to the far right, but just almost to the far right, prompt plus framework. Maybe dabbling in between somewhere. But this is the Chimera spectrum. And what I found is these principles of prompt crafting apply to any AI project, regardless of where it is on this spectrum. So here are the core principles. One, structure does make AI more reliable. You give it some structure so that every time you run it, it runs the same way. Two, design your system before you use AI or incorporate it. Don't do a cool thing with AI and then say, I'm going to build a system around this. I mean, you can, and if you're evolving and on a learning journey, that could happen. But if you're able to, it's better to design the system first. Three, use AI only where it shines. Though it can do things that you could do in other ways, don't make it do those things. Like I said, it's AI, right? It's squishy. It's herding a cat. You never know for sure what it's going to do. And the smaller the task you give it, and the more good it is at that specific kind of task, the better your outcome's going to be. So only use it where you have to, and use traditional means in those other places. Just fill the gaps with AI. Build whatever you build in a modular, reusable way, if at all possible, because you just might want to work on a different project that uses some of the same things. So build it that way. Plus, building it modular allows you to tweak behaviors in only certain areas of your project, so without affecting negatively or negatively impacting the rest of your project. And number 5, this is important. You're the architect. You're the human in the loop. Stay in the loop. Participate in the system that you're building. All right. So I'm going to skip a few slides here and go straight to a project that we're going to look at. So this is it, the case study, the KPMG R&D tool, automating tax credit reports with AI. So this is an annual recurring task I have to do of digging through Jira development projects and figuring out which of these actually pass muster on 4 IRS legalese criteria. It's very boring and time-consuming work. So I used AI and the principles of prompt crafting, and I automated it, at least a good portion of it, and saved myself a lot of time, and actually now have fun running it. So this is what it is. It's a case overview, and we are going to jump directly from here into just a tour of that project. This is the KPMG project as seen through Visual Studio Code, which is the IDE that I use. On the left here, you can see the folder structure. I'll show you quickly how I access Amazon Q. I do it through my secondary sidebar over here to the right. So this is where I interact with Q, and we do our thing, and he writes me code over here. It's pretty cool. All right, I'm going to take this out of the way for a second. Let's look at the project structure itself. And like I said, let's look for where prompt crafting is being employed too. So I have my primary script here, which runs the pipeline that we illustrated earlier, extracting data from Jira, getting it graded by AI, getting the graded data analyzed and aggregated, and then producing an output Word document and an Excel file from that aggregated and processed data. So the run pipeline also allows me to provide several different input parameters. So I can specify a date range, I can specify various aspects of this run. I also have a README, and I always put a README with all my projects, so important. I had AI write this for me because I know I'm not going to touch this again for a year, and when I do, I will have forgotten every single thing about it. So for myself and for any other AI that I may want to work on this project later and maybe enhance it for me, this README is very critical. It has all the details, everything about this project, so pretty cool. So as far as the structure and the architecture, I have a scripts folder. There are individual scripts that represent different portions of this pipeline, specifically segregated and purposefully segregated. So if I need to modify some aspect of this pipeline, I can do it without probably breaking anything else. There's also a prompts folder. This is where I keep individual prompts related to various other aspects of this pipeline, such as the IRS definitions and how to grade a Jira project and what to output for me. These others are applicable to when I produce the report, when I produce the spreadsheet. And in fact, I have individual prompts for different sections of the report because I didn't want to give AI everything at once and just expect it to get it right. So I even broke up the generation of the sections of the report into individual steps, and each driven by individual prompts. So that helps so much with consistency. And I also did discover a couple of AI settings, one called seed and one called temperature, that you can use to most definitely get reproducible results with the same inputs. I also have a data folder where the data that is produced throughout the steps of this pipeline are stored here. And the reason I did it, well, two reasons. One, so the various steps could have access to the data, but also so we could apply Principle 5, and that is the human in the loop. You are the architect. I can and do spot check the data that was collected in these various steps to make sure it looks right. Because what I found initially was that I would see things in there that I knew that wasn't right. So I would go and modify my prompts and then rerun it. So through some experimentation and iterative coding, we got it right, at least as far as I can tell right now. And then I finally have an output folder where the final Word doc and the final Excel sheet is saved. One more thing I wanted to show you is the output of our orchestrator script, the run pipeline. I'm a huge fan of knowing what's going on while the thing is running. So here in the terminal where I actually run it, I did an earlier run just to demonstrate this for you. We have outputted the different steps and what is happening. So here's where we're extracting from the Jira. We added our date range parameter. I narrowed it down to just 28 qualifying projects. The next step, we graded the issues. This is what's using the AI to produce the grade for each one of those on the 4 IRS criteria. The next step is to analyze and filter the qualifying issues based on the grading that took place. Then we generate the report and success. This also does identify the supporting documents needed to retrieve, because KPMG loves supporting documentation. So I identified those as I was able as part of this script and ready for a KPMG review.